and to also remember the sacrifices of the country's heroes past. He lauded Deltans for their commitment and cooperation with the state government in the execution of its agenda, particularly the flagship, the Stronger Delta target. The governor noted that 2020 Democracy Day was being celebrated in a peculiar atmosphere of sobriety engendered by the prevailing COVID-19, which has jolted the world. He urged Deltans and Nigerians to imbibe and internalize the new culture of personal hygiene, including the use of face masks and observance of physical distancing while interacting in public, and appeal to them to support the government in sensitizing residents. Today is June 12th, a national public holiday in Nigeria, declared to commemorate the annual June 12, 1993 election believed to have been won by Chief MKO Abiola. In the special report, correspondent John Glover writes on the significance of June 12 to the Nigerian democracy. The report
was contested by Chief MKO Abiola of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, and Alhaji Ibrahim Tofa of the National Republican Convention, NRC. On June 14, the electoral umpire, National Electoral Commission, NEC, headed by Professor Humphrey Nwonsu, had announced the first batch of results, and Chief Abiola won 19 out of the 30 states and Federal Capital Territory. He won all the states of the Southwest, 3 of the 7 states in the Southeast, 5 of the 9 northern states, including Kano State, where his opponent hailed from, and 4 out of the 7 states in the central middle belt. Many Nigerians were thrown aback when Professor Nwonsu, the NEC chairman, on the 16th June, announced the suspension of further announcement of the election result following a court injunction obtained by the Association of Better Nigeria, led by Chief Arthur Nzerebe. The straw that broke the camel's back was the annulment of the June 12 election, believed to be the freest and fairest by Nigeria's military president, General Ibrahim Babangida, on June 24. This attracted violent protests and nationwide strike across the country, and the presumed winner of the election, Chief MK Abiola, declared himself president and commander-in-chief. Chief Abiola was arrested and charged for treason. He later died in detention on June 8, 1998. Following the return of democratic rule in Nigeria on May 29, 1999, the day was marked Democracy Day and a public holiday in the country. But on June 6, 2018, President Muhammadu Buhari, in a bid to correct the wrongs of the past, declared June 12 the country's Democracy Day and public holiday to commemorate the annulled June 12, 1993 presidential election. Today, we mark the second year Nigerians will be celebrating Democracy Day on June 12. Some Nigerians speak on the significance of June 12 to the country and its citizens.
From a day that has no bearing with democracy to a day that was acceptable to all Nigerians, that yes, democratic election really took place that day, and democracy was modern. So we can say that day is a better day than May 29.
The change of Democracy Day from May 29 to June 12 is a right in the right direction, because since I grew up to start voting an election, the 1993 June 12 election between NRC and SDP was the freest, most peaceful and fair election ever conducted in the history of Nigeria to date. The election was won by MKO Abiola of his blessed memory.
The states, some of the states in the western part of this country, if you recall before now, despite the fact that other part of the country they celebrate 29th of May as Democracy Day, they in turn have been celebrating 12th June as their Democracy Day.
It shows that people I said earlier that they have many significances. One, it shows the entire nature, the entire world, that people can vote in any person that they trust that can handle the governance of this country. The ticket we have then was all Muslims, but Christians voted en massively.
As Nigerians celebrate Democracy Day, let's live together in line with the vision of the founding fathers of the country. For drtv News, John Glover.
As Nigeria marks Democracy Day, the Deputy Chief Whip of the State Assembly, Honorable Solomon Igrakpata, has urged stakeholders of the democratic projects to sustain it in order to build and develop a virile nation. Honorable Igrakpata represents Uye constituency in the State Assembly, paid glowing tributes to those who fought for the entrenchment of democracy in Nigeria and urged the present leadership to nurture it for the benefits of the people. He urged the federal government to always abide by the principles of democracy and give more powers to the state, as it is in other developed countries practicing presidential system of government. Honorable Igrakpata assured Deltans that the state legislature will continue to make laws that will have direct bearing and impact on the lives of the people. The Deputy Chief Whip of the Delta State Assembly wished Nigerians a happy celebration. In a similar development, the member representing Ugele North Constituency 2 in the Delta State Assembly, Honorable Eric Owarise, has called for the deepening of the features of democracy that will benefit the people. In his reaction to the celebration of June 12 as Democracy Day, Honorable Owarise lauded past elder statesmen and Democrats that fought for the enthronement of democracy in Nigeria. Honorable Owarise, representing Ugele North 2 Constituency, noted that for democracy to be sustained, all stakeholders in the Nigerian projects must fully support and practice true democracy that will be of benefit to the people. He rejoiced with Democrats and Nigerians, especially the poor, assuring that the legislative body will make laws to uplift the standard of living. Honorable Eric Owarise reaffirmed his commitment to the principles of democracy which brought him into power and assured and promised to ensure its sustenance. The Ugele North Constituency 2 lawmaker assured people of his constituents that he will fulfill the promises he made during the 2019 campaigns. Deputy Senate President Senator Ovie Omagege says he's working in synergy with Honorable Francis Wivey for the upliftment of the Yoruba nation. The Deputy Senate President was speaking on the achievements of Honorable Francis Wivey in the past 1 year, described the legislator as a man with passion to deliver the best to his people. The reports.
I have a petition here from one of my constituents, Mr. Joseph Iwubare, whose request for the release of his pension fund was denied by APT Pension Fund Managers Limited. He has severally written to the managers of the fund to no avail, and he has sought the intervention of our office. We have also written and nothing has come out of it. So he's written to the House petition asking for the intervention of the House. Your kind permission, Mr.
Today is World Day Against Child Labor. It is usually celebrated annually on the 12th of June. The World Day Against Child Labor was first launched in 2002 to raise awareness and to prevent child labor. The day is expected to bring together governments, local authorities and civil society groups to advocate for the rights of the children. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there was little or no gathering. The theme of this year's COVID-19, protect children from child labor now more than ever. June 12th every year is World Day Against Child Labor. The General Assembly of the United Nations set aside a day to create awareness on the need to discourage acts that will violate the rights of children. As Nigeria joined the rest of the world to mark the 2020 World Day Against Child Labor, some parents are calling on governments at all levels to put in place committees that will go around to arrest or sanction individuals or groups who still indulge in the violation of the rights of children. The reports.
Child labor, which is described as acts that denies children their human rights, including access to education, have over the years been seen as a worrisome trend, as experts say the inability of children to seek elementary education affects their upbringing. Some scholars have even called for stringent punishment for anyone depriving children from gaining education, adding that parents can send their children on errands but not during school hours. Reacting to the United Nations' determination to always inform the public on issues about human endeavors, one of the respondents, Dr. Chukwudi Ekukoma, says this year's World Day Against Child Labor will not be complete if the government fails to punish anyone who violates the rights of a child. Dr. Ekukoma, who says there is a lame difference between child labor and child trafficking, implored the Delta State government to bring back Edu Mashat and other officials saddled with the responsibility of monitoring children during school hours. The respondent called on parents to give birth to the number of children they can take care of, stressing that by so doing, the problem of child labor will be half solved.
When you talk about child labor, you are talking about exploitation. You are talking about taking unfair advantage. For instance, when you see children hawk, and then these children hawk around, taking the position of to earn income for family use, and they are not actually supposed to be breadwinners of their family. And you see that these children are denied the access to regular schooling.
The 2020 theme of the World Day Against Child Labor is COVID-19, protect children now more than ever.
Well, let's told you that the Deputy Senate President, Senator Ovioma Agege, says is working in synergy with Honorable Francis Wivey for the upliftment of the Yoruba nation. The Deputy Senate President was speaking on the achievements of Honorable Francis Wivey in the past 1 year, described the legislator as a man with passion to deliver the best to his people. That he reports.
The Deputy Senate President said he's happy with the performance of Honorable Francis Waive, noting that his zeal for God and his people and his determination to succeed has made him to achieve so much within 1 year. Senator Agege said he had a very good working relationship with Honorable Francis Waive and hopes to build on that for the betterment of the Yoruba people.
Less than 9 months, he's already left his mark, his footprints everywhere. We've had that synergy in Nigeria, synergy in service delivery to our people.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, said that he has been very impressed with Honorable Francis Waive, who though is a first-time member, but has made a vast impact on the House of Representatives. The Speaker described Honorable Waive as a God-fearing man who has been very hardworking since he was elected into the House. He expressed belief that the people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udo constituency will enjoy more dividends of democracy through the representation of Honorable Francis Waive.
I have picked up some things from him that he doesn't even know. I have picked up passion for what you do. Some people say I have passion for what I do, and I think I do. But his own passion is he even loses his school sometimes as I've seen him do that. He's a man of God. You see, the politics is already rubbing off on him. If you know what I'm talking about, a few weeks on the floor, go on the floor. He displayed the kind of passion he had for his people from Delta.
In separate interviews, the Okubaro of Ujemi Kingdom, Owawa II, and Archbishop Solomon Bakara expressed satisfaction at the performance of Honorable Francis Waive. Honorable Francis Waive has in the past 1 year engaged in massive electrification projects of rural communities, empowerment of women and youth, job placement of qualified indigenes, and facilitated construction of roads and bridges by the federal government in Ughelli South, Ughelli North, and Udu Federal Constituency.
Rape has been described as the cancerous pandemic. It is through the foundation of the society and creating an unsafe environment for all. The state chairman of the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, Comrade Pat Bemudu, stated this during a stand-up campaign tagged Stand Against Rape and Other Gender-Based Violence. The event was organized by Delta NAWOJ in partnership with civil society organizations and women association in the state. The reports.
The various groups involved in the Stand Against the Rape campaign include the Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, Delta State Chapter Medical Women Association of Nigeria, International Federation of Women Lawyers, Association Against Child, Sexual and Gender-Based Violence, Ideal Child Foundation, Courageous Girls and Women Initiative, Working Fingers and Soroctomist International, gathered at the Interbo roundabout as about dressed in apron strings and carrying placards bearing various inscriptions such as Stop Rape Now, Leave Me Alone means no, Say No to Rape, Rape is a crime, Stop Killing Our Girls, Say No to Child Molestation, Don't Wait to be a Victim, and No to Sexual Violence. The addressing and chants caught the attention of passers-by and commuters, most of whom slowed down to get the messages. In her remarks, Comrade Pat Bemudu called for the domestication of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition VAPP Act in Delta State, adding that stricter punishments should be meted out to rapists to serve as deterrents to other criminal-minded persons. The State NAWOJ chairperson said proper parenting was key in the fight against rape and urged parents to groom both the boys and girls into responsible and supportive citizens. Comrade Bemudu advocated that rapists should be blamed, shamed, and punished, and not the victims. Leaders of the various civil society groups and women associations present said the campaign has become necessary given the increasing space at which minors and adults, including boys and girls, were being raped in different parts of the country. The state chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, Comrade Mike Ikogu, who came with some NUJ members to support the female journalists in their efforts to curb rape in the society, said rape is a crime that should be punished.
The Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, has declared a state of emergency following the spate of sexual and gender-based violence, GBV. The forum made this known in a communique signed by the chairman and governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, on Thursday in Abuja after the governors and COVID-19 teleconference meeting aired on Wednesday. The communique noticed that the Minister of Women Affairs, Mrs. Pauline Talib, addressed the forum on the rising cases of rape and gender-based violence in the country, which has escalated since the enforcement of COVID-19 lockdown. It stated that the governors condemned all forms of violence against women and children and committed to ensuring that offenders face the maximum weight of the law. The forum called on governors yet to domesticate relevant gender-based protection laws, including the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, the Child Rights Act, and the updated penal code to do so. The forum also urged members to increase protection for women and children, as well as ensuring speedy investigation and persecution of perpetrators, in addition to creating a sex offenders register in each state to name and shame. You're still watching the DRTV Channel 41 News. We'll take a breather here. More reports when we return. Do stay tuned.
If a pack of souvenir is 1,875 naira, how much will it cost to get for 750 guests?
1,406,250 naira.
Correct.
So girl is very sharp. Oh.
She takes after her brother.
For years, cowbell milk has been building great minds and strong bodies.
Ma, me too. I like
our milk.
A very challenging time for us all. We must therefore come together, support our government and health personnel to fight against and stop the spread of coronavirus pandemic. We must endeavor to
prevent infections by washing your hands with soap and running water for at least 20 seconds.
You can also use alcohol-based hand sanitizer if you don't have immediate access to soap and water.
Sneeze. Do it into your elbow like this, or into a tissue paper like this. Dispose immediately to protect yourself and everyone around you.
In these trying times, it is important to avoid unnecessary socializing. As much as you can, avoid crowded spaces.
Maintain at least 6 feet between yourself and the next person.
Make sure to wear a face mask whenever you appear in public.
Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose and mouth.
And when you feel sick, please by all means necessary, stay at home and immediately seek medical attention.
Most importantly, if you are experiencing symptoms like fever,
dry cough, running nose,
body aches,
sore throat, difficulty in breathing,
tiredness and diarrhea.
In all of this, please make sure to maintain good personal hygiene.
Please do not hesitate to call the Delta State COVID-19 response number.
People, not be news again say coronavirus COVID-19 don't land Naija. Mama, Papa, how una take dey protect una self and una family? World Health Organization WHO, Delta State government through the Ministry of Health say make una dey wash una hand every time with the soap water. Use sanitizer for your hand. Stop to dey hug or shake people anyhow. Not dey touch your eye, nose, mouth or even ear sef. Stay for your ass and stop to dey mix with people for crowd. When you sneeze, no use handkerchief, use tissue paper and throw them away one time. Abeg o, stop to dey spread fake news and make una no fear. The Delta State government e dey gidigba to make sure say we dey kampe, my people o. As we continue to do wetin government say make we do and pray, God go help us to stay safe o. Na the wife of the governor of Delta State and founder O5 Initiative, Dim Iditokowa, na dey bring una this message.
Thanks for joining us again on the DRTV Channel 41 News. The police in Osun State have arrested a 75-year-old man, Jacob Anyola, for allegedly raping a 15-year-old hawker at his apartment in Osogbo. The victim was allegedly hawking a local drink when Mr. Anyola raped her at Ojoba area of the state capital. A source said the victim of the attack assisted her parents to hawk following the compulsory school vacation imposed to curb the spread of coronavirus. Confirming the incident, the Osun State Police spokesperson, Yemisi Okwalola, said the case was reported at Ojogba Police Divisional Headquarters. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Mohammed Adam, was called for improved partnership, synergy and joint operations by the police and other relevant stakeholders to stage a common front against rape, child molestation, trafficking in person and other sexual-based violence in the country. The IGP stated this at the Force Headquarters Abuja during a tripartite meeting between the police chief and the heads of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NATIP, and the National Human Rights Commission. Force Public Relations Officer Frank Umba quoted IGP Adamu that rape and other sexual offences have become a menace not only in the country but globally. He assured that the force is repositioning gender desk offices in all police commands to effectively investigate cases of gender-based violence and ensure that perpetrators do not go unpunished. The IGP further assured of an enhanced working relationship with NATIB and the NHRC to evolve a proactive and comprehensive national response to the issues of sexual offences in the country. The number of coronavirus cases has risen, with the country recording 681 new cases Thursday night. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, made the announcement on its Twitter handle. The total number of COVID-19 cases in Nigeria now is 14,554. According to the NCDC, Lagos State recorded 354 new cases, followed by Rivers State with 51, while Ogun State is 48, Gombe is 47, Oyo 36, and Imo has 31. Delta State recorded 28 new cases of COVID-19 Thursday night, while Kano had 23, Bauchi 18, Edo 12, Katsina is 12, Kaduna 9, Anambra 7, Jigawa 5, Kebbi and Ondo State at 4 each, while Nasarawa State recorded 1 case. The number of discharged COVID-19 cases in Nigeria is 4,494 with 387 deaths. The chairman of Ethiopia West Local Government, Honorable Solomon Gole, has commended the Nigerian Navy in Ogara for their cooperation in ensuring peace building and security in the area. The chairman stated this during a courtesy visit by the Navy principal officers of the commands, led by the Flag Officer Commanding Logistics Command, Ogare Admiral Seliranda Samaila in Ethiopia East Local Government area.
Honorable Solomon Goli, who appreciated the Navy for their hard work in the local government area, said the Nigerian Navy has been so helpful in terms of providing maximum security for the people of Ethiopia. The chairman also appealed to the Navy principal officers to also consider the people of the area in terms of employment when the Navy starts recruitment. Honorable Goli added that his administration will continue to work with the security body in terms of providing a peaceful environment free of crime.
I can say they have rendered so much help to us in times of distress. At a point in time, Ethiopia was involved with kidnapping, and I'm so appealing that I think there's need for to give us concession. The people of Ethiopia, not just Ogara, best quarter, but anybody from the same month they are Ogara. If you are in need or we are looking for recruit, if they want to recruit them, they are need concession to the rest of us.
Flag Officer Commanding Logistic Commander Rear Admiral Siliranda Smiley Lassa commended the state governor Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa for his passion in developing the state. He also hailed the former governor of Delta State, Chief James Ibori, for making it possible for the Nigerian Navy to function in the area. Rear Admiral Lassa described the Ogara people as peace-loving, as they have provided a conducive environment for the Navy to operate. Promised to work in unity with the local government chairman in maintaining peace and reducing crime rate in the area.
Sincerely, I must thank you for the cooperation that has existed before now, and to pledge that we will continue to support you in whatever way that you desire.
Also present during the courtesy visit was Vice Chairman of the Council, Chief Obukoko Omarekpoge, the Secretary to the Local Government, Mr. Moses Okwe, HPM, Mr. Robinson, including some members of the legislative arm and some heads of department, including others.
The courtesy visit took place in Ethiop West Local Government area, not Ethiopia East, as earlier reported. The World Bank assisted Delta State Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project, NewMap, has trained over 1,000 farmers on climate change adoption farming projects implementation established in Obankwa and Ukunze communities in Anyosha local government area of the state. The project coordinator, Delta Newman, Mr. Isaac Ufiofio, disclosed this in his evening remarks at a 2-day climate change adoption project capacity building program organized by NewMap in collaboration with the project's individual consultants at the respective benefiting communities. The state project coordinator of NewMap, represented by the Natural Resources Specialist, Mr. Benedict Wonkucha, said the essence of the Train the Trainers farming program was to teach the farmers and give them technical assistance to improve their farm's yield and livelihood throughout the year. Mr. Fiofio stated that the training program was also aimed to build the capacity of the farmers so that they will be able to adhere to modern practices of climate change that is totally inevitable. He explained that there is usually a gap between November and April during the dry season, saying that a practice that will assist farmers continue throughout the year for the farmers to achieve bumper harvest has been invoked. Mr. Fiofio called on the farmers to adopt the modern way of farming techniques, which he said was far better than the traditional way of farming, even as he expressed satisfaction over the large turnout of stakeholders from both communities. The principal consultant for the climate change adoption fund projects, Dr. Victor Chukwu, said the sustainability of the project in Obonkwa and Ukunzo communities was assured. It disclosed that more than 500 bundles of cassava stems of provitamin A, maize, coconut, orange, pear, and other varieties of seedlings have been distributed to the modern farmers in the localities. Dr. Chukwu enjoined participants at the workshop to adopt modern principles of farm practice to improve their livelihoods, generate income, and reduce poverty in the communities. Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has been disqualified from participating in the ruling All Progressive Congress APC primary election scheduled for June 22nd. The embattled governor was disqualified by the screening committee for the party's governorship primary. Jonathan Ayuba, chairman of the screening committee, disclosed this while presenting his report to Adams Shombole, APC national chairman, at the national secretariat in Abuja. The federal government says the Civil Aviation Regulator, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, will determine the resumption of domestic flights in the country based on the preparedness. The National Coordinator of the Presidential Task Force, PTF, on COVID-19, Dr. Aliyu, revealed this at the daily news conference of the PTF in Abuja. Dr. Aliyu said the PTF was yet to receive any updates from the aviation sector on its preparedness to resume flight operations. According to AIM, NCAA was given a window of 3 weeks for it to prepare and could still be operating and preparing. The PTF coordinator said the aviation industry was requested to start developing protocols for domestic flights to resume anytime from June 21st. Recall that the government at the March shut the nation's airports and airspace as part of efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19 pandemic in the country. As understand, has killed 18 suspected kidnappers at the forest in Adamawa State. Sources say the men of the underworld were sharing the ransom money they got from the victims when the thunder struck them. The incidents occurred within the Twongo local government area of the state, local sources say. Twongo is a town and local government area in the southern part of Adamawa State on the Nigeria-Cameroon border. The bandits, it was gathered, had collected over 20 million from the wealthy victims between Kuncha in Cameroon and Twongo in Nigeria. According to the source, the suspected kidnappers met their end because angry victims went spiritual against them. The Adamawa State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Suleiman Ngoroje, said Friday morning that the incident actually occurred within Cameroon soil near the border with Nigeria. And with our reports, we've come to the end of the news, but before we go, a look at some of our stories. Today is Democracy Day, a day set aside to commemorate the June 12, 1993 presidential election annoyed by the military junta under the former military president, Major General Ibrahim Babangida. Democracy Day is now celebrated on June 12 after President Muhammadu Buhari reversed the earlier date of May 29th Democracy Day on the 6th of June 2018. I also brought you the reports that President Muhammadu Buhari said his administration has initiated some policies and programs designed to promote the legal rights of Nigerians. President Buhari disclosed this in a broadcast to mark the 2020 Democracy Day in Abuja on Friday. That does it on the news. We say congratulations to Nigeria as we celebrate Democracy Day today, and remember to say no to rape. Observe the precautionary measure to curtail COVID-19 in our country. Bye-bye.